How are you?
How are we doing? Good. Hey, I was thinking about just starting off by telling you guys about all the new guys that are here now. You guys good with that?
Yeah.
Everybody good with that? Okay, so I'm going to start with the mid-year transfers, the guys that we were able to get out of the portal. Demetrius Ballard is a 6'6", 256-pound defensive end from the University of Buffalo. Really excited to have him here. Evan Dickens, running back, was at Liberty. 3-down back. Really excited to have him on the team. Javarius Green, he goes by Vari Green, wide receiver from North Carolina. A guy that was productive there and did some good things. And again, like I'll say about all these guys, excited to have these guys on the team. Cam Howard, a defensive back, safety, primarily a safety from the University of Alabama. He's joining us mid-year. Christian Hudson is a defensive tackle from the University of Colorado, transferred in, and I think we've done a good job of building some depth there on the defensive line. Trayvon Humphrey, North Carolina Central offensive tackle, is in the boat, and really excited about having him here. Reggie Jackson, another offensive tackle from Jacksonville State. Looking forward to coaching him. I'm going to go by Juju with this guy. This guy's name is Vigor Jean Genot, okay? Gemot, excuse me. He goes by Juju. He's an offensive tackle from Tennessee State, and really, again, looking forward to coaching him. Chris Jones is an outside linebacker, defensive end from the University of Georgia. Excited about having him on board. Chandler Jordan is a defensive back. He's a corner and a safety from Georgia State. This would be a great addition to our secondary. Bodie Cahoon is a linebacker from Notre Dame. Again, another real good addition to the linebacker core. Cam Kosman is a tight end from the University of Florida. Looking forward to having him here for the offseason and in the spring and get going with him. Bryce LaFollette is a punter from Chesapeake, Maryland, and he came to us from Towson State. Mason McKenzie is a quarterback from Saginaw Valley State. Justin Medlock is a linebacker from SMU that just joined us today. Janai Norwood is an offensive lineman from the University of North Carolina, just joined us today. John Owens is a long snapper, really good long snapper from Holy Cross, be a grad transfer. He'll be with us, and he won't be with us until June because he's going to graduate from Holy Cross. Anthony Pilano is an inside linebacker from Washington State, and he's been here for about a week now. Christian Phillips just joined us today as an offensive guard. He can also play tackle from Michigan State. Nolan Ray is a running back from the University of Maryland. KJ Sampson is a defensive tackle from Florida State. He can also play defensive end. Owen Snively just arrived here today as an offensive line interior guy from Eastern Michigan. Excited about having him on board. All these guys, excited about all these guys. Reed Swanson is a 6'6" wide receiver from Colgate. Was very productive, had 78 catches in the Patriot League, and looking forward to having him on board. Jackson Wade is a slot receiver from the University of Florida. He's been here for about a week. Grayson Wilson is a quarterback from Arkansas. Been here for about a week. Landon Wright just got here today, or maybe 2 days ago. I know he took a red eye from Fresno to Boston. Pretty interesting journey. He's coming to us from Washington State. He's a wide receiver. That's Landon Wright. The mid-year freshmen that are with us now, I think there's 8 of them. Cedric Addison is a running back from Peachtree Ridge in Atlanta. Femi Babalola is a quarterback from down in Nashville, Ravenwood High School. Jackson Carlisle is a defensive tackle from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Don't want to miss anybody. Anthony Colner is a quarterback from Carmel, Indiana. DeJohn Green is a safety from Choctaw, Oklahoma. Gerald Green is a corner from. He's actually from New York, but he ended up his high school career down at the Legacy School in Houston, Texas, where he played for his brother. Cameron McGee is a defensive tackle from Grayson, outside of Atlanta, and Jordan Rodriguez is a safety, can also play corner from St. Peter's Prep in New Jersey. So those guys just joined us for this semester, right? Just got here, and so it's obviously a long list of guys. Brand new team in 26, a lot of new guys, and just looking forward to bringing these guys together and getting working with these guys. So with that, I'll open it up to questions.
When it comes to building and sort of constructing a roster and dipping into the portal, it feels like you guys want a balance of experience at whatever level it might be, and guys that, kind of needed more playing time. Is that sort of the road you guys are thinking, or?
Yeah, I mean, Kevin, that's a good, decent way to look at it. I think the first thing is it a fit for Boston College, right? This is a special place, a place where you're going to go to class, in-person classes. You're going to, participate in a lot of community activities. You're going to be busy, right? So we need the right type of guy, and I believe that these guys, the freshmen and the transfers, are the right type of guys. I think you look at different categories of players. You look at players that are grad transfers that have played, 3-4 years, have graduated from that school, and they can come in here and play as a grad student. I think that's a good category of guys for Boston College. Another category are guys maybe at a lower level that were very productive, like a Reed Swanson. Very productive in the Patriot League, and we think that translates to being productive, at our level. He just did a great job there, and so that category of guys. Then there's guys that maybe didn't play a whole lot at the places they were at, maybe a bigger school. They were backup players, maybe they were on special teams. They weren't starters, but we felt like they were good fits for us. So there's basically 3 categories of guys, is how we try to, categorize the guys we bring in. You could probably pick somebody that might not fall into that category. That was just, maybe there was a connection. Maybe one of our guys had recruited him out of high school, and now we've got him here at Boston College. So, but those are the 3 main categories, if that answers your question.
When you look back at last season, what did you find, and how have you attacked the offseason given that?
There's a lot of things we found. I mean, we turned the ball over too much. We didn't tackle very well. I don't think we blocked very well up front on offense. I don't think that we played the run as good as we could have on defense. There's a lot of things we have to improve on. I thought special teams, for the most part, was decent and a lot to build on there, but there's a lot to improve upon. But again, the one thing about that question, Trevor, is like, this is a brand new team. A lot of these guys I just read off, they weren't even here, right? So I probably just read off however many guys I did. It's a brand new team, new coaches, new team. So, we're just excited to get going with these guys.
Coach, the biggest roster turnaround we've seen at BC, how much of that was just the reality of the transfer portal in college football now, and how much was that by design based on your assessment of 2025?
I think it's more the reality of what we're in. Some guys decided to leave, and I wish all those guys the best. There was not one guy that left that was, what you would say is a bad departure, right? We had good conversations with all those guys. Wish them the best, but at the end of the day, they decided to leave. We had to replace them. You're either going to replace them with, some mid-year freshmen, or obviously go into the portal and try to do the best you can to get some help out, some reinforcements out of the portal. So I think it was more of a necessity relative to where we were at when the season ended.
Coach, could you help educate me? I know BC announced they're going full share money-wise
Right.
for the portal.
Right.
I'm trying to clarify and get a reading. How much money did you have to work with football alone compared to the other sports?
Yeah, I don't really want to get into. That's probably a question for somebody above me. I'm not trying to avoid the question. I'm the football coach.
It just helps the fans know.
No, I totally get it. We are participating in rev share, definitely more than we've had in the past. Very fair question, but I do think that's more of a question for Blake and somebody above me that can explain it in detail to you. But yeah, there's more than we've had in the past, and we feel good about where we're at. But I really do. Again, I do think it's more than that. I think that there's ways to go about this other than just money, right? I think it's about the school and what the school can do for you, and as a student athlete here. And so, but yes, we're definitely participating in rev share.
Just on Kenyatta Watson, just what kind of impact has he had on the portal, and how have his connections helped land transfers? Yeah,
Kenyatta's been great. He's done a really good job of. He knows a lot of people because he's been in this business for a long time. In college football, but also what he did relative to Under Armour and all that. So he's been around, and he knows high school coaches, I would say, in every state. He knows prospects and guys that he's recruited over many, many years in every single state. So he's able to connect. He knows parents. He knows, the coaches, the people that are responsible for these guys. So the connections that he brings are invaluable. He does a great job. And the other thing about Kenyatta, he's like a very positive guy. He just believes in Boston College. He believes that it can be done here, and he wanted to be here. I mean, he left Auburn to come here, and they didn't want him to leave. And so, it's just great having him here. He brings a very positive attitude. The other guy I need to mention is Julian Rowe Cohen. Julian Rowe Cohen did an amazing job, too, with Kenyatta. I would say Julian's the assistant general manager. He does a great job of bringing people in, the logistics behind it, all of that. I think there's other people that need to, when it comes to the portal, because this might be a long press conference, because I'll tell you exactly, not going to the rev share as much, but just the process of how this works in the portal. These kids, it's like speed dating. They come in, it's a 24, maybe a 36-hour deal. You got to get flights. They're bringing their parents in, or families, or some of them brought their coach with them, or something like that. So it's like it's a team effort. So it's Kenyatta, it's Julian, but then it's Brittany Pearson, who's behind you right here, amazing. And then it's Jackson McSherry, it's Andrew Schatz. Then they have to get them registered. They all have to get them registered for school, because school started last Monday. Maggie Barden, all of these people are involved in the transition. Obviously the coaches. But it's a very, very involved process that happens quickly, if that makes sense. So, but yeah, Kenyatta definitely did an awesome job of leading the charge.
Yeah, Coach, you got two extremely productive ball carriers coming in with Mason and then Evan. Just curious, I know they were able to do it at maybe a lower level. What makes you feel confident they can kind of bring that to this level and still sort of have and attain that success here?
Talking about Evan Dickens and Mason McKenzie.
Yeah.
So Mason was very productive in the conference that he was in. It's the same conference that Trinidad Chambliss was the player of the year 2 years ago in that conference. Mason was the player of the year this past year. Very impressive film. Yes, at a lower level, but like a lot of good things on film. The ability to get the ball out quickly, the ability to see the field, the ability to make off-schedule plays, really good athleticism. And when we met him, just a great guy, like a very calm guy, a very smart guy, great family, came with his dad, and we were very impressed with him. So we were excited to work with him. Evan started off at Georgia Tech, and then he transferred to Liberty and just had a very productive year at Liberty, and a very bright guy. Like we're meeting with these guys right now, and you can see like Evan's really studying the offense. He's doing a really good job of learning things. He's got really good speed. He can catch the ball out of the backfield, and we're very excited to have him.
Going off the process of getting transfers here, I know, speaking from experience, when I was touring BC, I took a lot longer than 36 hours to do it. How is the pitch or the sale of Boston College to get these guys here changed, given that you have such a small time frame?
Yeah, I think the first thing is, not necessarily in any particular order. It's the school, right? It's what do they want to study? Because I think that's very important, so that make sure we have that major here. It's the campus, it's the people, it's the city of Boston. It's the opportunity to play. These guys aren't transferring to sit on the bench; they're transferring to come here and play. So it's how do you see me playing? What's your vision for me? We had a vision for each guy. We watched a lot of film, at the end of the season, even I would say during the bye weeks and things like that, to try to have an idea of what might be out there. And so we had a good idea about all these guys. Then there were some connections. Some of these guys, like Ted Roof, had some connections with a couple of these guys from recruiting them out of high school to UCF or Oklahoma, where he was at. So there were examples like that helped us, to know how to help talk to the guy about the vision you had for him as a player. So I think those are the main things. Our players were the hardest part, because the calendar is screwed up, and you guys have heard that a lot, but our guys were on break, right? So, but some of the local guys helped us. They came in and helped us talk to these guys about what their experience was like at BC, the football end of it, but also the school and the campus and all that. So that was a part of the process that helped these guys make the decisions to come here.
Coach, kind of along those lines, this year is going to be the first year that there's one transfer portal window rather than two.
Right.
How much of a challenge, or how much did that kind of impact the first go around, knowing that this was kind of the only chance to maybe pick some guys up rather than having that extra spring window too?
Yeah, great question. I mean, it was very challenging, and that's why I mentioned all the people behind the scenes that did an unbelievable job, because I think over the course of, I think it was open from January 2nd to January 16th, I think we brought in 45 people, 45 kids with their families. So we visited 45 prospects in a 14-day period, and so that is it's definitely new for Boston College. It's new for me. We didn't do that last year. That wasn't even near what we did last year, and so it was a process where it was all hands on deck, and everybody had to help out. But it's it's definitely a new, and we'll clean some things up. Another guy I need to mention is Reggie Terry. Reggie Terry did a great job of helping me, Kenyatta, with agents. All these guys have agents, contracts, and things like that. Reggie was instrumental in helping get these guys in here, get them transitioned here, and things like that. So, but yeah, it's definitely a new process for all of us.
Coach, you mentioned Coach Roof. Significant staff changes
Yep.
this year. The news just came down this morning about Will Waring also departing.
Yep.
Just kind of talk about those guys, and are you going to replace Will, or are you going to take over Mike Aldridge?
Yeah, so we'll see what we do there with Will. I wish Will the best. Will's been with me for 13 years. He was a graduate assistant for me at Penn State. Brought him to Houston. He was with me all 7 years in Houston. Brought him to Alabama. Was with me for 2 years at Alabama. Brought him to the Patriots in 23, and here. So he's been with me for a long time. He would describe that as dog years. You know what I mean? But he had a great opportunity to go work for Ben. He went to North Carolina with Ben. And then, obviously the Bears are doing a great job. So we wish him the best. We hired Ted Roof as a defensive coordinator. This is my fourth stint with Ted. You guys are going to like him a lot. He's a great guy. He's really good with the players. He's got a lot of great experience. He knows how to coach the defense. He was a great player at Georgia Tech, and he's been around a lot of great players, and he knows how to scheme it up. Joe Daly was with us this last year kind of as a consultant. He'll be the wide receiver coach. He's an excellent coach. Really looking forward to working with him. Kurt Anderson is our new offensive line coach. Very excited to work with him. He worked with Doug Marrone in Buffalo. Doug recommended him, thought he did a great job for him. Then he worked at Northwestern. He worked at Arkansas. And he's done a really good job of developing players. Skronsky, the guard for the Titans, Rashawn Slater, the tackle for the Chargers, Frank Ragnow. He's coached some really good players. He was very impressive in his interview. Played at Michigan, was a great player at Michigan, and so very fired up about working with him. Very, very good job. Did a great job in his interview. So. And
just for you personally, the loss of Bergengarian, what did that mean?
Yeah, look, Bears did an awesome job for us, and we wish Bears the best. There were just some things that we had to do, and he wanted to do in his life and his career. But Bears is awesome. We can't say enough great things about Bears. He's a special guy, and we're going to miss him.
You talked a lot about guys coming and going, but when a guy like KP Price stays, how gratifying is that?
That was good. Yeah, that was good. It was good, because. We felt like having KP back, who's a captain, a productive player, like that was something that we really wanted to try to retain him, and we were able to do that. We couldn't retain everybody. That's the other thing about this, the whole era that we're in, is that you can't retain everybody. You just can't pay everybody. So you have to do the best job you can of wishing those guys the best that did leave. But getting a guy like KP back is awesome.
Coach, does it motivate you last night watching the national championship? Miami, fellow ACC school in the game. Indiana, a perennial bad program, now has emerged. That like a program like Boston College can get up there and reach levels.
Every program's different, but that was to watch that game and to know that, like you said, we're in the ACC with Miami. Miami did a great job, had an awesome year. Indiana, what they've done, I think everybody's different. Everybody's program's different. Everybody has their own challenges, their own strengths. their own weaknesses and things like that. But yeah, no, that was a great game, and it was fun to watch that game.
Just bringing in Mason McKenzie, when you look at his skill set as an improviser, strong runner, just how do you hope to adjust to his play style, and conversely, how do you hope he'll adjust to your scheme in the offense?
No, we have to do the things that he's good at, right? And he's good at a lot of things. He's got a quick release. He's accurate. He's very competitive. He can run, and he's smart. He's a smart guy. You can tell that already in just the 5 or 6 meetings we've had with him since he arrived on campus. So, we're not going to try to, stuff him into a system that doesn't fit. We'll do a good job of making sure we're doing things that bring out the skill set that he has.
It's obviously a lot of lost production receiving wise with Lewis going to the draft and then Reed. Just talk about some of the receivers and especially like a guy like Reed coming up from Colgate. Obviously has the size to do it. Just wondering how you think he's going to kind of translate that.
Yeah, no, we're excited about Reed Swanson, Vari Green. We got Landon Wright in here now. Very, very excited about those guys. Excited about the guys coming back. Dawson Pugh, Jaden Skeet, John Montague. Like we feel really good about that position. Ned Bolden's coming back. As a freshman that didn't play a whole lot. The production of Lewis was amazing, right? He had a great career here. Reed Harris did a lot of great things here. So we're not really looking to just necessarily, we have to replace that with these. It's going to be a collective effort, but we feel really good about the talent at the wide receiver position coming back. We're excited to work with those guys in the spring.
The offensive line seemed to be a target in the portal. We've got some big guys coming in. I think you mentioned Juju. What is he, 6'8", 280 something?
Yeah.
Really, really big.
Yeah.
How do they fit in, not only with the offensive linemen returning, but also with Coach Anderson, what he's trying to do?
I think these guys, look, when we watched them on film, we felt they were tough. They were athletic. Then when we met them in person, we really liked them as people. They were humble. They understood the tradition of offensive line here at Boston College. And so we were thrilled to get them. Some of them, are, young still and have not played a whole lot. And so, we're looking forward to watching those guys improve and get better. And then some of them are veterans that need to come in here and play for us and that will come in here and play for us. So we're excited for those guys in that group. And I know that Kurt and Ryan Fink, the assistant O-line coach, they'll do a great job with them.
Coach, with the 26 new transfers and then of course, you got the freshmen coming in. It's going to be almost 40 new players coming into the system. How much of an adjustment is for you as a coach? It's not like a normal third year of a head coach where now with the transfer portal you have a massive new roster change. How much of an adjustment is that for you as a coach?
Yeah, I think the big adjustment is just really diving in and getting to know these guys, connecting with these guys. I think, when you watch the teams that are winning, if you look at the game last night, that Indiana team is very connected. They know each other really well. They play for each other. I think that's a big deal of what we're trying to do right now. We had a team meeting this morning. It's our second team meeting. Just really getting to know guys. I think our player development group with Sean Guthrie and Maggie Barden, they'll do a great job of that, explaining to them what Boston College is all about, but also learning what they're all about. I think that's a big part of it. Before you start teaching them football, you got to really get to know the guys, and I think that's a big part of what we'll do this offseason. But it's a brand new team. Basically, I would say 50 to 60% of the team is brand new, so it is an adjustment in getting to know them.
And just a quick question on the transfer portal. Do you see, you're talking about how it's like a speed dating. Do you think the transfer portal window should be moved outside of the college football season, give people, coaching staffs more time to assess players, and also outside of the football season, have players that are actually in the portal, playing college football games?
Yeah, I don't want to be too long-winded with this answer, but I might be long-winded. So the calendar is still messed up.
Yeah.
Because you have this portal open from January 2nd to, I think, the 16th. And so you have, like you just said, you've got teams still playing. Teams, even there was a bowl game there, I think, at the end. But in teams in the playoffs. So I read where, I'm watching a game and there's a guy playing for a team and it's like he's in the portal, but he's still playing for the team. I mean, that's just not, which to each his own. I'm not making any judgment on that. I'm just saying that's really not right. There's something wrong with that. So I think that's part of it. I think the academic calendar, right, it's so difficult here at a place like BC, like you've got to get these guys so you got to get their transcripts. You got to see, like, can they do the work here at Boston College? That's a big part of it. You can't just bring anybody in. Do they have enough credits to transfer in? What credits will BC accept? So to do that in a short span of time, our admissions people did an unbelievable job of working with us and letting us know. So that's a big part of it. So I do think in the end it should reflect more of the NFL schedule, right? The draft in I think it's late April, right? Then you have rookie minicamp, then you have OTA. So maybe you give us some practices in June. You have that portal window sometime in the spring. Maybe it's May at the end of the school year, and then in June you've got your team, and now you can have maybe 15 or so practices in June. And then July is summer conditioning, and then August you ramp it up for training camp. So I think that it should reflect more of an NFL calendar, but that's just my opinion.
Guys, we'll go 2 final questions here.
And then just, to have a tough season last year and still bring in a lot of great talent in the portal, how do you think you're able to do that despite the 2-10 finish?
Look, we I don't think these guys looked at that. I think they looked at it more as the opportunity to come in here and play for a good coaching staff, go to a great school in a great city. I just think that I'm not sure they looked at. I think every year is different. I don't think they look at that year and say, okay, we're just going to base our decision all on one year. You know what I mean? So I don't think they really looked at it that way. They said, hey, this is a great opportunity for me to come in here and try to play.
Coach, we talked a lot during the season about it takes time to build a program. When you sat down with Blake after the season, was there ever a doubt in your mind that you were coming back this past year?
No doubt. No. Yeah, I mean, I have a 5-year contract, so yeah, I have three years left on a 5-year contract, and I'm going to work my butt off to try to get this thing right. Got a lot of great people in the administration. Blake's been great to work with. Reggie Terry, like I just said. Obviously Father Leahy has really helped us with the rev share component. Father Jack is a huge advocate for football and for sports. So we're looking forward to when he takes over. But I'm here. I really love these kids, and working with these guys has been awesome. So far. So really excited to get into winter conditioning and then spring practice and kind of go from there. I'll keep taking you guys. Yeah, anything you guys just keep. You got a question, Grant? I know you got like 50, and I can see the wheels spinning.
I was wondering if you choose any sort of captains for when spring ball kind of comes around, just to sort of lead the guys who have not been here, and especially with so many new players, if there's kind of certain guys you pick to sort of create that sort of captain atmosphere.
Yeah, I don't think I'll choose captains or anything like that, but I probably have position leaders. Somebody at each position, maybe 1 or 2 at each position to lead the group a little bit. I think that'll be something that I do. Haven't done that yet because really, for instance, Christian Phillips, he just got here today.
Yeah.
Landon Wright, they just got here today. So we gotta. It's just a quick transition here, but yeah, eventually, probably starting in February we'll do it that way, and then towards the end of training camp we'll elect captains.
Hey, Coach,
If that
real
makes
quick,
sense.
thoughts on Ted Roof, new defensive coordinator here at BC?
Yeah, really excited about him. We worked together at Georgia Tech, worked together at Duke. I worked for him at Duke. He was my defensive coordinator at Penn State, first year there, and now we're here. So, he's got a great family, awesome family, his wife, Pam, and then his 2 sons, TD and Mick. Great family, and he does a good job. He's a very aggressive, attacking style of defense. He knows how to coach it. He relates well to the kids, relates well to the coaching staff. It's fun. They fly around. He coaches defense the way he played. And, if you know anything about him, he was a great player. He's in the Georgia Tech Hall of Fame. He was basically the founder of the Black Watch defense, which is known as one of the best defenses in the history of college football at Georgia Tech. He was the Black Watch defense. So he knows how to coach the defense, and he gets the most out of each guy that he coaches.
Coach, when you were hired 2 years ago, did you envision to be like this with the portal? And just how do you think there's a path that it could be a positive for Boston College going forward with schools like Indiana turning it around in 2 years? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I didn't envision it like this. I really didn't. I'll be honest with you. I didn't see. I mean, I had experienced some of it when it came to collectives and things like that. That had started in the NIL component had started, I think, in 21 when I was at Alabama. But the portal and all that, like, I do think at some point in time there's got to be some type of regulations, whatever it is. I mean, to have, 5,000 guys in the portal thereabouts, that's not right. That's not good, As far as BC goes, I think as long as we continue to find the right fits for Boston College, like a guy that really understands the importance of education, the importance of good football, and the combination of that and what it can do for him in this Jesuit education, I think that's a big part of it. If we can continue to find, I think we've done that. Time will tell, but I think finding the right fits for BC, we can definitely, be successful in this era.
How do you feel about the Patriots maybe going to the Super Bowl?
I feel good. I mean, I think they're on a roll. Love the Patriots. Love what Mike's doing. Got a lot of great friends there. Dougie Marrone. Those guys are playing well. Be tough to go out to Denver. Denver's a hard place to play, but no, those guys, they're on a roll. They're hot. And when you get hot and you're playing well, they're playing really well on defense, doing some great things on defense, playing well on running the football on offense at the end of the game, things like that. So it's they're on the track. I don't want to put any pressure on them, but they're on the right track, no doubt about it.
Along those lines, Tyler Rabel being here last year, do you expect him to be back in a different role or same thing?
Yeah, I'm not sure yet. He was a consultant, so it was kind of like an at-will employee type deal, but he did a great job. Loved Tyler, worked very hard, and whatever he decides to do next, whether it's come back with us, we would love to have him back, or he moves on. We wish him the best too. But he did a great job for us. Did a great job.
Do you have a start date for spring ball yet?
I think it's right after spring break, so I don't know what the date of that is, but Lucas will get you that.
Okay.
So they're going spring break, and then we'll start spring practice right after that when they get back. You guys good?
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
See ya.